Police Officer Frankie May Shivers, Hollywood, Florida Police Department. Although she was born in Swainsboro, Georgia, Officer Frankie May Shivers grew up in the Pompano Beach and the greater Fort Lauderdale, Florida area. She attended Ely High School in Pompano Beach before transferring to Dillard High in Fort Lauderdale, where she ultimately graduated. Frankie had a burning desire to serve. She began her law enforcement career by becoming a police service aide in the city of Lighthouse Point. Eventually, she entered the Broward County Police Academy as a recruit, and thus began her arduous journey toward becoming a police officer. In 1982, after months of grueling training, Officer Shivers finally achieved her goal. She graduated and was sworn in as a law enforcement officer. She was subsequently assigned to the Patrol Division of the Hollywood Police Department. Unfortunately, Frankie's law enforcement career would be brief, lasting only 9 months. On the night of September 5, 1982, she was involved in an incident in which shots were fired. Officer Shivers was struck and succumbed to her wounds early the next morning. Frankie was only 27 years old. Completing the academy was not easy for Frankie. Although she struggled through parts of the training, her tenacity and focus caused her to stand out for all the right reasons. Her colleagues quickly learned that Frankie was not a quitter. In fact, adversity was her ally. Her determination and will to succeed left a huge impression on her instructors as well. So much so that after Officer Shivers' death, the Broward County Police Academy established the Frankie Shivers Award. This special recognition is awarded each year to the police recruit who overcomes the most adversity and demonstrates the biggest improvement during their training. A recent recipient of the award commented on a memorial page for Frankie. Upon graduation from the Police Academy, I received the Frankie Shivers Award, which I have hung proudly on my wall since. I wanted to take a moment to thank Officer Shivers for her service and ultimate sacrifice while serving the members of her community. It is truly an honor. You are not forgotten. News of Frankie's death sent shockwaves through the Hollywood Police Department. She was the first female police officer killed in the line of duty in the state of Florida. To commemorate her sacrifice, Officer Shivers was honored posthumously as the 1982 Hollywood Police Officer of the Year. Frankie was known to be fond of singing and proudly served as a member of her church choir. Although she enjoyed listening to and singing all types of gospel music, her favorite song was Going Up Yonder. In addition to her appreciation for music, she had other interests, such as reading and writing poetry. Sewing was another of Frankie's favorite pastimes. She was a skilled seamstress and even made some of her own clothes. Although her family didn't have any pets, they nevertheless loved animals. They often visited the zoo, the monkey jungle, and the seaquarium in Miami. Frankie loved to do anything that included her daughters. Officer Shivers is lovingly remembered as a mother first and foremost. Her 2 daughters dearly loved their mother and knew they were loved by her as well. She was also a wife who took joy in taking care of her husband. To Frankie, her family was always the most important thing in her life. Frankie was known as the glue that held the family together. She is remembered by her daughter Stephanie as someone who could always be counted on to get things done without ever complaining. She was respected by everyone for her never-give-up attitude and as one who gave her best at everything she did. Stephanie recalls that Mom was taken in the prime of her life. She had not even begun living yet. She was my mom, and I miss her dearly. Frankie's other daughter, Jolie, vividly remembers her mother's passing. I was only 9 years old at the time of my mother's death, she recalls. Words can't explain the pain of her absence. She will forever live in my heart, and I know that she's always watching over me. Officer Shivers is survived by her husband, Ralph Shivers, daughters Stephanie and Jolie, 1 brother, Willie Sessions, and 4 sisters, Anna Mae McGee Thomas and Mary and Barbara McGee. This tribute, honoring Officer Frankie May Shivers, was made possible by the generosity of John Nordinger, Smith Watson Parker Carter Vaught Insurance.